Congratulations on completing your operation, sir. My thoughts exactly. That seemed to be a rather easy one for you in the end, too. Compared to what they're usually like, it was. If I had a bit more time, I could have enjoyed some private time with a real gem of a woman, too. But I'll have to settle for crying myself to sleep tonight. Not this again. Unless you want another earful from the commander, you might want to start taking your work more seriously. I know. Lighten up a little, yeah? I swear, I'll never get how you hard-headed types ended up assigned to a slacker like me. This may come as a shock, but you are a Dominion, you know. We can't very well have you acting alone without any form of backup. As long as you're here and this ship is under your command, then slacker or not, we're here too. Even then, you've got a lot less squires in your service than you should have. Maybe you should take this chance to gather up a few more. I think I'm gonna have to pass. That'll just make it even harder for me to work on my own. I thought you'd say that. We'd prefer it if you would actually trust us to help you a little more, sir. I mean, all we could do in that salt pail operation was transport the thing. You say that as if transporting it itself isn't a huge responsibility in itself. After all, the last thing he wanted was him catching wind of it and becoming wary of us. Is something wrong? Oh, not a thing. Anyway, as per the original plan, we need to get ourselves back to Arteria ASAP. We should be able to reach there by noon tomorrow. Or today now, I guess. Got it. Where's it from? Arteria, apparently. It's a call from Commander Selnitz. You are kidding me. Getting a call from her right after a mission is always a bad sign. Let's get this over with. Put her through. Alright. Evening, Kevin. It sounds like you did well. Fill me in on the details. It basically went without issue. The artifact was the Fool's Locket. There were signs of society involvement, but it looks like they've cut any ties with him a long time ago. I see, as I thought then. Good work all around. I'd say you deserve a well-earned rest, but unfortunately I can't grant you one right now. And here we go. Something the matter? Oh, I'm just dandy. Please continue. Well then, as much as I hate to spring this on you immediately after finishing one mission, I've got something I'd like you to do for me. Regarding a heretic, I assume? Not this time. All I want you to do is pick something up. The object in question is currently being held underneath Grancel Cathedral. Grancel? Do you think this object may be somehow related to the Aureole? It's a distinct possibility. Can I count on you to handle this? Alright. That said, we're already getting one artifact on this ship that needs transporting back, so let's let the crew here take that to Arteria. I'll handle going to Liberl on my own. That's fine with me. Oh, incidentally, you won't actually be alone. I've dispatched a rookie squire to aid you. They'll be serving you from now on, so do play nice, won't you? Wait a minute. Wait just 1 minute. You can't just spring a rookie on me out of nowhere like this. Heh, meetings ordained by the goddess always come suddenly and unannounced. Don't worry though, they won't be a burden. The abilities they demonstrated during training were truly something special. Well, I will be praying for your success. Well, congratulations on the new recruit. We were only just saying you could do with more squires serving you. And I was so not down. I can't believe this. She never changes, I swear. Oh, if all the people reading that book had any idea what a hellion she is in real life. So, yeah, Ein Selnit is the inspiration for the fictional character Carnelia in the Carnelia novels, and, it turns out the real-life person is infinitely more insane in terms of their exploits and power level than the fictional version, and that's saying something. Oh, Carnelia? I've always wondered whether publishing it was really such a good idea, to be honest. It's a complete advertisement saying we exist to the world. If anything, I'd say a book that wild just serves to make people less likely to believe we really exist. And then the heroine died in it, which obviously is a big fat lie. If they'd actually met her, they'd known she's the kind of woman who could probably take a bullet to the head and ask for a cigarette first thing. I think we should probably refrain from commenting there. Anyway, you guys heard her. I'm gonna leave taking care of everything else resting on our mission to you guys. Just follow the money trail. There might still be hidden accounts we don't know about. Understood, sir. What will you be doing from here? We'll need to return to Arteria, obviously, but we can drop you off somewhere. You can put me down in any old state we pass on the way there. Preferably near a town that has international flights going out of it, I guess. Got it. Oh, it looks like the sun started coming up. It just makes me think of Tristan's "In another few minutes, the sun will rise" from Yu-Gi-Oh! What does that mean? I don't know! As usual, Dorothy cares nothing for film court's wastage. Oh, they're gone out of sight now. I wonder if they're busy migrating. It looks like they can't keep up with the ship though. Guess not every bird can be as fast as Sieg. But they were just the cutest. Well, look who it is. I know you. It really is you. Long time no see, Dorothy. I sure wasn't expecting to run into you here. Funny coincidence, huh? It really is. It's good to see you again, too. Father... You don't remember my name, do you? Don't be silly, of course I do. It's, Oh, I remember, it's Onion Graham! But of course, how lucky I am to have been named after such a multi-purpose plant. That's not even a name, Dorothy! You really did forget, didn't you? And yet you somehow managed to remember my last name like it was nothing. I was just being silly. A couple of days ago I had this amazing onion hot pot over in the Eastern Quarter in Calvard, so I've still got onions on the brain. I couldn't believe a hot pot with just onions in it could taste so good, but I swear it did. It was so comforting and sweet. So that's how I ended up saying onion instead of your name. Well, whatever. So if you insist you haven't forgotten, what is my name then? I do insist, I'd never forget. It's lovely to see you again, Jasmine Graham. But of course, how lucky I am to have been named after such a fragrant plant. That might be an actual name this time, but it's a woman's name. Never change, Dorothy. Oh, I see. So you're here to carry out a follow-up investigation on all the trouble that happened earlier in the year? That's about the gist, yeah. Come to think of it, how'd you end up on an international liner like this? You said you were in the Eastern Quarter, right? Were you there to write about it for the LaBelle News? Yep. Niall actually let me go on my own this time too. Wow, that was daring of him. I'm not sure I want to let you handle travelling abroad for a report alone. Then again, it's only by taking on positions of responsibility that people can properly grow. Oh, I'm doing plenty of that. I mean, I wasn't sure what I'd do when I ended up in Calvard instead of Bowes Market, but I managed just fine. Wait a second. Niall told you to go to Bowes, not Calvard? He sure did, but then I got on the airship, fell asleep, and before I knew it, I was chilling out in Calvard's capital. Weird, huh? It sounds like you got on the wrong airship to me. Let my brain catch up. So you were in the Republic for literally days when you weren't even supposed to be there at all? Did you even have enough money to manage, or, Adios help us, a passport? Well, fortunately, there was someone from the Liberalian embassy at the airport who could issue me a temporary passport, so that was okay. And then tons of people were really nice to me and helped while I was there, so I had all the dough a girl could ask for. I don't even know where to start. Niall must be worried sick about you, huh? You think? He didn't sound so hot when I called yesterday to say I'd be coming back to the office today. I keep telling him that all that smoking is bad for him, but he never listens. I don't think you can pin the crime on tobacco this time, Missy. Thank you for taking this journey aboard the Gretna today. We will be arriving at our terminal, Grancel City, in roughly 30 minutes. We ask that you take this chance to check that you have all your belongings with you and to return to your seats before we begin our landing. Until then, please enjoy the remainder of your flight. Phew, sounds like we're almost there. I'm gonna have a walk around the ship to kill some of the last half hour. How about you? I'm not sure. I suppose I might as well go snap some more photos. It's not often I get to take an international liner like this, on purpose. Sounds like a plan. See you later, then. Later! And so, in a callback to Sky SC, we have the classic talk to everyone on the flight to progress the plot segments. I don't think I'll be reading out, like, you know, just general NPC dialogue, more just main story dialogue. But here's the thing, though. While Trails is typically all about exploring areas and talking to NPCs and just getting all of their little stories and things like that, it might seem like this game is heading in that direction now, but don't get too attached to it. As I said in the intro, this is a very, very unique Trails game. It's not like what you'd expect out of this series. Apparently, Xseed have said that they probably should have translated this girl's name as Milano, not Mirano, but I guess it sounds like Mira, the currency of this world, which makes sense given that she's a businesswoman. And she is still just as shrewd as ever. I honestly end up way sorer from planes than I do from buses. So, if you remember these two from SC, I believe they're the couple that got married in a side quest. It's just great to see how just the NPC stories keep continuing. Even the ones who don't have names have arcs that continue throughout most of the Sky games. Yeah, Armand and Ellie. Ever since the very beginning of Sky FC, the two of them have begun their relationship, and we watch them go through all of that. Meanwhile, that guy's having marriage troubles. I do remember, as a child, my first time on a plane. That was actually pretty fun. They had like a coloring book and a book where you could like point out different types of clouds and annoy your parents with them. Ah, yes, the ancient dragon. Without whom, Estelle and Joshua would actually be dead right now, so that's depressing. Well, yeah, there were a whole lot of troubles happening in LaBelle before, but, you know, it's not like, you know, there's going to be any troubles happening again. I mean, it's not like it's the start of a new game set in LaBelle or anything, and, oh, right. Doesn't seem like these two are Anton and Ricky. If they were, we definitely know. They have the same, like, sprites, models. I don't know what you'd call these, what the characters look like in these games. Oh no, I feel so sorry for the captain right now. Why do you want to know what I wanted to be as a child to begin with? That's not really something you normally tell complete strangers with cameras in their hands, you know. I'm on to you, mister. You can't distract me. This is a serious news report here, so please answer my questions. She sure is making good use of those reporters' privileges. By the way, my dream was to become a phantom thief. Isn't that cool? No price for forgetting what kinds of books she must have read as a kid. Oh boy, yes, Phantom Thief Dorothy. That AU would be very interesting. I'd like to see fan art of that now. Well, thankfully the pilots know what they're doing. I wonder if that's like, I don't know, an arranged marriage or something? Oh, this guy's named after, like, a mythical giant. And also a hot spring town in Narabonia. That must get awkward if he ever goes there for tourism. Oh, like what, a cat or something? Because, you know, one airship once had a bunch of cats in it, and I've heard that tripping on cats is potentially very dangerous. But yeah, now that we've talked to everyone, this is a passenger announcement. We'll soon be arriving in Grancel City, the terminus of this liner. We suggest that all passengers return to their seats as soon as possible, as the airship may be unsteady during landing. Well, I mean, we've got fairly experienced pilots, so what's the worst that could happen? And there's an airship right there that, if you've played the earlier Sky games, you'll certainly recognise. It's so lovely to be back here again. The Republic was a wonderful place too, but you can't beat the air here in Liberl. You wouldn't believe all that stuff happened half a year ago looking at Grancel now either. It's all completely back to normal. The people here sure are strong for what's usually such a peaceful country. Well, it's a country ruled by a queen. Everyone knows women are tough in the face of adversity. I'm not sure whether you're a perfect example of that or the opposite. You're right about the air here though, it is nice. Nostalgic almost. Makes me feel a little homesick. Your home's in Arteria, right? The place with all the really big churches and stuff? Nah, I'm not actually from Arteria. Not many people are. It's actually pretty darn small, like smaller than most states around the continent. This makes Arteria pretty analogous to Vatican City in the real world, I guess. It's where the high seat of the Septian Church is, so lots of pilgrims and clergymen gather there, but few are actually born there. Oh, really, huh? So where are you from, then? Dorothy? Oh, Niall. I'm home. Did you miss me? Did I miss you? Of course I missed you. What in Adios' name have you been doing? I sent you to Bose. How did you end up in Calvard? You were definitely on the westbound liner, I'm sure of it. I really don't know. Oh wait, I might actually know. Go on then, spit it out. I bet I'm a sleepwalker. After I got on the right airship, I fell asleep and then sleepwalked onto the wrong one. To think that all this could turn out to be part of some elaborate murder plot. Wowee, all of a sudden I feel like I've walked right into a mystery novel. Sleepwalkers don't change airships, you idiot. I'm all out of breath now. Are you alright? I really do think you should cut down on your smoking. You're not as young as you used to be, you know. Oh right, your 30th birthday was last Friday too, wasn't it? Happy birthday! I bought a cake over in Calvard and had a big celebration for it too. How is it that you can remember useless crap like that and not the things that actually matter? I bet you were just looking for an excuse to eat cake all by yourself, weren't you? You should have seen it, Niall. It was made with Eastern matcha, so it was unlike any cake I'd ever seen. The perfect blend of sweetness and bitterness was just sublime. I took lots and lots of cute pictures of it, so I'll show you them all later. You brought me pictures of a cake? At least bring back a souvenir! They always felt like they could go into business as a comedy duo and actually make money off of it, but they're even more of a crack up now. Wait a second. Nice to see you again, Niall. You're looking the same old, though maybe you're not so happy about that. What are you doing here? Please, please tell me you didn't end up going to Arteria and causing trouble there too. Your wish is my command. We just ran into one another on an airship by total coincidence, that's all. Oh, good. You had me worried for a minute. I was scared stiff she'd gone and smashed some super expensive stained glass windows in the cathedral or who knows what. I'm so sorry for what you have to put up with. For sure, you're too much of a worrywart. Whose fault do you think that is? Still, it's good to see you again, Father. What brings you to Liberl? Something else happen here? Oh, just a bit of work-related business I've got to take care of. It's not part of a major investigation, so don't go getting your hopes up. Nothing of interest's gonna happen. I'll be the judge of that. Since, you know, the moment that you say something like that, of course something's gonna happen. Anyway, so, where are you staying for the time being? Grancel Cathedral? I'll have to drop by and say hi sometime when I get the chance. Go for it. In the meantime, I'm dragging your butt right back to the office, Dorothy. You're gonna tell us all about what the hell you've been doing these past 2 weeks. You betcha. I snapped some photos of every meal I had while I was over in Calvard, so I'm sure if we develop them, I'll be able to remember everything. I'm not talking about your gourmet report. Seeing those two together really makes it sink in that I'm back here. Thinking about it, I wonder how all the others here are doing. I know Estelle and Joshua are abroad at the moment, but I've got no idea what the others are up to. Is that you, Father Graham? Lieutenant Colonel Sid. It's good to see you again. I'm pleased to see you've been keeping well since we last met at that banquet. The same to you, sir. So that banquet, we actually, chronologically have not, like, in terms of gameplay, have not seen that yet, but if you've watched my Sky SC series, you will have seen that. That happened in the, at the end of, I did that at the end of that playthrough, but that's actually a scene from this game that we'll be seeing later in a flashback. The same to you, sir. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting you to be the army representative who came to meet me, though. I figured it'd be Julia. It may have been, but she's currently out on another mission, so unfortunately you'll have to make do with me. I didn't have anything better to do, so I came here in her place. There's no need to be so modest. A little bird told me that you're going to be promoted to full-on colonel soon, aren't you? I shouldn't be surprised that your people have such a good information network, but I still am. Heh, still, I'm afraid I still feel the position is too much responsibility for me as I am. Brigadier General Bright still has plenty of work left in him too. I wouldn't want to take any of it from him. Poor Cassius is still getting work to the bone, huh? Anyway, getting down to business, it's in Grancel Cathedral, right? That's correct. It's being kept underneath it to be more specific, although I imagine you're already aware of that much. I hear laymen like myself can't enter it without the knight's permission. So, interesting thing about this is that the use of the word layman here is more accurate than you might think. In addition to its, like, current modern day meaning, layman originated as a term for, like, non-clergy people. So, it's actually really fitting when it comes to a cathedral that's in a place in a cathedral that only members of the church are allowed to enter. Pretty much, it's a special place, you'll see. I'll fill you in on the details when we get there. Alright then. Well, we may as well head there right away. There's someone I want you to meet in the cathedral. Huh? Who? Let's just say someone who's been assisting with this case. They'll be appraising you of the details on what you're dealing with here. Oh, those pigeons just give me bad flashbacks to that one achievement. Oh, there you are. It's good to see you again, Archbishop. You look very well. Huh? And you must be... I wasn't expecting you to be quite this young. How old are you? What? 22, but that's a lot younger than I expected. Are the Graalsritter really so short-staffed they're handing out their most important post to kids? You can't blame me for assuming the 5th Dominion would look more like of a veteran, can you? Heh, your surprise is written all over your face. Someone in your position should have a much better poker face than that. Maybe you need to redo your training from scratch. Or are you just acting, I wonder? How do you... Professor Russell, please. He isn't here for you to try and pick a fight with him. Please try and be a little less deliberately provocative. What? Hell no. He's here to steal the thing we went through so much effort to bring up, and you want me to play nice? And kindly don't call me that ever again. I don't want to be addressed in the same way as that old coot. Of course, ma'am. Wait, Russell? Then are you... I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Erica Russell. I'm sure it's not a name you're going to be forgetting anytime soon. Oh, no it won't be. So yes, after all this time, we are finally meeting Tita's mother. And let's just say, mad science runs in the family. Still, I sure didn't expect to run into little Tita's mother here. I'd heard you and your husband were both living abroad. What brought you back? What do you think? After all that went down here, there was no way I was staying out of the country any longer than I had to. Though with how remote the region we were in is, it was all over by the time word reached us. Had we found out sooner, I sure wouldn't have let that maniac pull half the crap he did. Doesn't sound like you're too happy with the professor nowadays, huh? Talk about an understatement. That whack job actually took my little girl to that floating city with him. I get that he's soft towards her, but that's no excuse for exposing her to danger. That's fair. And as if he isn't bad enough, he let that red-headed scumbag get near her too. That utter cretin isn't fit to be within 50 yards of my darling Tita, never mind actually getting friendly with her. So, you don't like Agate, huh? Don't you speak that filthy name in front of me ever again. Oh, when I'm finished with him, he'll wish he'd never been born. He might have survived that last onslaught, but we'll see how he fares against an even more powerful unit, won't we? I get the feeling this is a matter we're better off not prying into. I love how Kevin literally backs away slowly in his animations there. I thought the same, so I don't know any more about it than you do. Incidentally, the Professor Russell you're more familiar with is currently vacationing abroad. As such, she's been assisting us with this case in his place. Oh, I see. Are you two listening to me? Of course. Well, whatever. This staircase sure is long, though. How much farther do we have to go? Not much as far as I know. About as much time as it will take to go through all these text boxes. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that staircase actually does go on forever if you just leave the text boxes on, so that's kind of funny. The magical, plot-tailored staircase that only ends when it needs to. A dead end? I hope you've got a good explanation for this. I do. This isn't a dead end, but to go any further, I'm going to need you to undertake a ritual of sorts for me. Well, this certainly took a turn for the strange. Is this an example of the church's famous thaumaturgy? Something like that, yes. Specifically, I would like you to undertake a form of suggestion. I'm not sure I follow. You want us to promise not to tell anyone what we see here, right? That's a little extreme, so no, the Colonel is obviously going to need to report what's happened here to his superiors, for one thing. All I want you to promise is that you won't tell anyone you aren't certain you can trust. I don't need you to say it, I just need you to think and believe it. Weird, but alright. If that's all you want us to do, so be it. I feel the same way. Should we deliberately repeat it in our minds, then? You don't even need to do that, it should just come completely naturally to you. Alright, here goes. In the name of she who dwells above, do I hold this consecrated septium. Space's golden glow, consciousness's silver glow. I think that should be mirage. By your opposing natures, reveal to them the path that leads to your sacrament. What? How did that door appear? Thank you both for your assistance. I can see that you were true to your word. Ah, I see. So if we just said it but didn't really mean it, we wouldn't be able to see anything, right? And yet I can hardly believe what happened. I imagine it would be uncouth of me to ask how all this works. Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't. Anyway, come on in. Wow. Unbelievable. All these years, I had no idea that such a place lay hidden beneath Grancell Cathedral. Well, it's not exactly something we publicise. It was built in accordance with the agreements between the Church and the royal family. It has but one purpose, to suppress the power of ancient artifacts and keep their influence in check. I see. Its importance to you Gralsritter is quite clear then. I'd assume there are similar ones in places other than Laberl too? Well, I won't deny it. Anyway, we call this place a primal ground. Now there's a deep name if I ever heard one. Is the original ground the others are based on in Arteria? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, I'm not confirming anything. I was just thinking about how much you take after the other Professor Russells or... Ugh, I'll thank you not to associate me with him. He might trump me a little in the theoretical side of things. When it comes to the practical side of orbital science, I could beat him in my sleep. And I was the one who designed the fundamental systems of the Capel and the Arsail, you know. Really? Nice. But I think we're getting off topic here. This is the object in question, right? That's correct. It was pulled up 3 days ago from the area where the Liber Arc sank, and we believe it to be an artifact. Damn, sun's going down already, huh? If this spot turns out to be a bust, we're probably gonna have to call it quits for today. We can only hope. Professor Russell is certain that this is the area we should be looking. Yep, and if he says it's here, it's here. Unfortunately, as you know, Valeria Lake's about as deep as a lake can get. Depending on how small the thing we're looking for is, actually finding it could still be a real task and a half. Is it likely to be small, though? The orbal reading suggested we're dealing with quite a large object, I believe. Oh, I wouldn't judge its size based off of those. Ah, Professor. Hey there, kiddo. Finished getting us a new estimated location? Just about. It'll be real swell if you knocked off with the kiddo, though. I'm not sure it's the most appropriate way to address a married woman, much less one who's already popped out a child. Ha, sorry, but old habits die hard, you know. Hard to make the switch when I've been calling you that since you were about knee-high. Well, I'll let you off this time. Back to work. Can you ask your subordinates to stand down for the time being, Colonel? This is the spot, then. Were you able to calculate where the object is? Give or take an arge, yes. Judging by the readings, what we're trying to pull up isn't all that big either. Probably about 50 reg, maybe even less. You serious? Thought we'd be dealing with a real monster, not something the size of Antoine. Still, if it does turn out to be an artifact, this could get problematic. Unfortunately, the church isn't going to want to let us keep it, that's for sure. I really cannot stand them. No matter how hard you work to get your hands on something, the second it turns out to be an artifact, they swoop in like it's their goddess-given right to have it. It ticks me off. Easy there. We don't know for sure that this is even an artifact yet. Regardless, I'll pass on the message to my subordinates right away. I'll leave the rest here to you, Gustav. You got it. Let's see what we're dealing with, yeah? Okay, that's the spot. Go on ahead. Yes, ma'am. Beginning the salvaging operation. Okay, A, X, Y. Let's hope we don't come up with a lot of guff again. God, that sound just fills me with dread. Does the salvage crane sound like it's in poor condition to you? Oh, that's not really what I meant. I just can't bring myself to like artifacts, you see. We can't explain how they have the power they do, but they have it, and it's not something we can ignore either. As a researcher, I can barely imagine anything more frustrating. Even when we can't help but be captivated by them, we're still aware that any attempt to solve their mysteries is pointless. I see, when you put it that way, I can understand to a degree how you must feel. Half the year has passed since all the chaos came to an end, and on the surface we're back to normal, but even now we still don't know what truly happened here or what it signified. Yeah, not that I was here to see it all happen, of course. The crane arms reach the bottom of the lake. I'm going to attempt to grip the object, and I'm really hoping it's not a squid. Swing and a miss. Moving 30 reg to the right. It also better not be a chest containing 1 rupee. There we go. Yep, we've got it. Want me to pull it up? Please do. The moment of truth, huh? Here we go. What? Oh my. I see. Still, looking at it? Correct. There were orbal readings coming from the artifact when we found it, but not anymore. And I'm sure I don't need to spell out the significance of that, do I? No, it's plain as day why you decided to stay and wait for me now. If an artifact has lost its power, it's exempt from the traditional agreements governing them, and doesn't need to be given to the church. That it? You already understand me so well, we can cut right to the chase then. The orbal readings disappeared just before we handed the artifact over to the cathedral. As it so happens, it's currently being looked after here, but the formal procedures to transfer ownership have yet to be completed, making its legal owner unclear. So, in your expert opinion, what should be done here? This is a tricky one. I'm assuming LaBelle wants to assert ownership over it in this scenario, right? If anything, it's the professor here who wants to do that. I'm merely here accompanying her as a representative of the Royal Army. The only reason it's not lying at the bottom of Valeria Lake right now is because of ZCF's salvage efforts. I'd say we have every right to keep it personally. From what I've heard, it's completely impossible to analyze an artifact that's no longer active. I don't see how it'd be of any use to your research as things stand now. But you're sure you want it that badly? Oh, absolutely. We're talking about an object found at the site of where a massive flying city used to be. I might not have seen it happen, but it sounds like everything we thought we knew about the world was more or less proven wrong. You know, by the truth that you people in the church have kept hidden for the past, I don't know, 1,000 years? As for that Ouroboros group, they don't make much more sense than you guys. The more I hear about their advances in technology, the less I can work out how it's even possible. I don't know what the truth is or what's really happening here in this land, but I can't stand by and feign disinterest in knowing the answers anymore, and I'm far from alone. So as long as there's the slightest chance that artifact could shed light on all of what I want to know, I want it. I think you've made your point, Professor. It's not as though interrogating him will achieve anything. True enough. Well, you've heard what I've got to say. It's now up to you to tell us what you're going to do. Will you hand over that lump of metal, or won't you? Well, that brief hesitation was all it took to spawn a great evil. Who is she? No way. It crawled through the fields, ran through the hills, and spread disaster in the skies above. An excerpt from the Book of Ezra, verse 2, Disaster Unleashed. I apologize for the delay in coming, Father Graham. My name is Rhys Argent, and I am a squire of the Graalsritter. I look forward to working under you. I didn't think we'd end up having more company. Wait a second. Is something the matter? So that's how they think they can get me, is it? But they can't just bribe me so easily. I'm better than that. Maybe I underestimated the Graalsritter. They think they can break my will to fight by sending a girl like you my way, do they? But I'm not going to go down so easily, because I've got a secret weapon of my own! Behold! The most powerful force in the universe! Is that... That's Tita, isn't it? How cute. Isn't she? Isn't she? I bet you just want to jump into this photo and squeeze her like a stuffed toy right now, don't you? I should have known a cutie patootie like you would be able to appreciate the same qualities in others. Anyway, that's why no matter how frickin' adorable you may happen to be, you can't take me down, because I've got a natural immunity. I beg your pardon, but I'm afraid I'm not really following. You keep saying that someone is cute, but are you referring to me? Who else would I be talking about? You've got such an aura of maturity about you, and yet your features still have that irresistible trace of innocence to them. and then they throw you into his sister's habit to compliment it like a little cherry on top. That's the most flattering habit I've ever seen. If I didn't have my protective field, I'd be in real danger here. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm just saying. Might I inquire as to the identities of the people with you, Father Graham? Sure. The lady's Professor Erica Russell of ZCF, while the gentleman is Lieutenant Colonel Seed of the Royal Army. Seriously though, Father Graham? Really? Ah, so you're the people who initially discovered the artifact then. Thank you for your cooperation in our work. We will take over looking after it from here on out. That will be all. Wait a... What? Hold on a minute, we hadn't finished deciding what to do with it yet. Perhaps not, but my intention was to save you the time and effort required to do so by making the correct judgment myself. Whether it has lost its power or not, that is no ordinary artifact. It is potentially related to one of the Septarians. I'm surprised that you even humoured the opinion of letting an outsider take custody of it. I mean... Well, you sure know how to pick a fight. Go on then, what legal basis do you have for taking it from us? The agreements with the Church quite clearly say that artifacts that have lost their power are exempt from the usual rules. I have no legal basis, but you have no more of one for keeping it. If we are following the agreements to the letter, no one is allowed to assert ownership of inactive artifacts. It belongs to neither you nor me. It is simply an abandoned object with no owner whatsoever. What? So all you've got is, I don't need a reason, it's mine and that's final? To put it bluntly, yes. Well, if that's how you want to play it. What's your take on this, Kevin Graham? Well, by all means. Me? I thought I'd been kicked out of this conversation. But, well, I can't say I don't want to take it back to Arteria with us. But after all the help LaBelle's given us, I'd feel kinda bad just snatching it from them without even giving them a valid reason. Both arguments have a degree of merit, but neither is clearly more correct. I'm not quite sure how you'll solve this one. You, do know that you're smack dab in the middle of this too, right? Whoa. My. What is it? Why do you both look so surprised? What do you mean, why? Did the two of you not hear that? Hear what? Wait a... Oh. Wow. Oh, no way. That thing wasn't giving off any orbal readings at all anymore. Zero, zip. Why is it suddenly active again? I believe that settles our dispute. Sure does. So the real artifact was inside, huh? I've never seen one quite like it. It looks like a box of some kind, or a cube maybe? Oh. I'd like to thank you two for your cooperation in the recovery of this artifact. In accordance with the pacts of the Church, I, Kevin Graham, will be assuming custody of it from here on out. You and all who aided you have the Septian Church's deepest appreciation. Well, that just happened to be a lucky victory. Phew, I thought we were never going to escape. Erica sure doesn't know when to quit. That's a kind way of putting it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing right at the end, though. Just as I thought she'd max out her crazy talk to spew, she goes and shouts, well, if you're going to be taking that, then I'll be taking her. And I thought Annalise was a one-of-a-kind cuteness freak, but she might actually have some stiff competition. Annalise? Oh, sorry, she's a girl I met while I was here last time. She's a bracer, about your age, I think? Oh. Reese? Yes? You're not mad at me, are you? For not keeping in touch with you? Father Graham. Yes? 5 years is a long time. Just as you have changed and progressed in rank significantly during those years, so have I. The Rhys Argent standing before you is a squire of the Gralsritter, not the girl you once knew. I am here to serve and protect you, nothing more. Come on, Rhys. You need not concern yourself with how I feel. If you don't treat me like a subordinate, then there is little reason for me to be here serving you. And with that talk out of the way, we need to board the last international liner out of Grancel, don't we? We should start making our way to the landing port. Wait a sec. Was that your... was a figment of your imagination? Huh? You seem to be tired, Father Graham. I see no other explanation as to why you're hearing sounds that clearly don't exist in reality. I think you ought to try and have some rest when we reach the As I was saying, I think you ought to try and have some rest. Don't even try and tell me that one was my imagination. Man, for a second I thought you'd changed, but you haven't, not one bit. You're still the same perpetually hungry Rhys I remember. This is just a simple physiological phenomenon. My lack of control is proof that I still have plenty of training ahead of me. I can only apologize for my own inability. Since when did you not being able to turn off your stomach become something you have to apologize for? Besides, I wouldn't have you any other way. You're forever going to be the girl who was always getting caught sneaking into the kitchen and trying to stuff her face to me. I'll be going on ahead. Hey, wait a sec. You're in my way. Please move. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to push my luck. I just got carried away thinking of old times, that's all. You have no reason to apologize, nor do I see any point in you doing so, because there are few things in this world that carry less weight than one of your apologies. Damn, finally biting back, huh? Well, while I've only got a 50-50 chance of you listening to me, can you knock off with the Father Graham, or even father for that matter? For what reason? I don't know if you're doing it because you feel like you have to, or because you want to act all distant, but there's no way I can get used to it, like, ever. It weirds me out. So, please, call me Kevin, same as you always did. What if I refuse? Then I'll beg you until you change your mind. I'll get down on my knees if I have to. You certainly would. Well, you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I know it's been a while since, but I'm way too set in my ways now. The one left me. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. It was nothing. Still, I can't very well refuse an order from my superior, so... Oh no, you're not playing that game. It's not an order, it's a favor. Very important distinction. Blech. You're so selfish, Kevin. There we go, that's what I wanted. But just so we're clear, even if I've changed how I address you, the fact that I'm your subordinate hasn't changed in the slightest. Don't forget that. Yeah, I know. We can talk like we used to, but there's no way to turn back the clock to the way things used to be. Oh, and one more thing. We've still got some time until the last airship leaves, so how about we head over to the department store on the East Block? We can grab you something you can eat. I like the sound of that. I propose buying all the bread they have left. I didn't know you were that hungry. Kevin and Rhys, their relationship is just, like, in our eyes is getting off to a good start. You can really tell these two have known each other for a while. I just love that. It's just, their dialogue together is great. I thought you were joking when you said you were going to buy everything they had left. The girl behind the counter looked like she thought you were a freak of nature. This is just another example of Edios' divine providence. It's better that they were bought by someone who intends to consume them than to have the poor things be thrown away. Yeah, you're a real bleeding heart, but that much? I hope you're not spending your entire salary on food. I'll have you know that you have nothing to worry about. There are few people in this world who know how to make better use of sales and special offers than I. Well, whatever makes you happy. It's not my business to know how you blow your mirror at the end of the day. Still, while I'll give you that my getup is right up the top of the suspicious charts, I'm pretty sure anyone would be confused if a woman in a sister's habit came wandering into their shop after dark to buy out the leftovers. Oh, stop your grumbling. And it's almost time for us to leave. We should make our way over to the landing port. I'm not sure how much longer my stomach can wait. Yes, ma'am. Is some... Sorry, that stomach of yours is gonna have to wait a little longer. Unforgivable. I don't know who this fiend is, but as long as I don't kill them, I can go as far as I like, right? I sympathize, but you, might want to calm down a little. Still, whoever they are, they're not very good at tailing people. Quite. I don't think they have much experience. They do seem to have undergone some degree of training, however. Yeah. Oh well, sad to say, but we're gonna have to skip today's last airship out of here. Do you know of a good place to strike? Oh, I do. I know the perfect place.